Commanders Monne, Nhlanhla National Shutdown planned for March 2023. Quick note, I've received some proper intelligence from sources that I can't state. Some are from government, some are from law enforcement, some are from Salfats. So on the day, there is possible looting and high risk of possible looting because the selfish, egotistic Julius Malema's national shutdown, protest, march, whatever the hell they call it, has created an environment that is similar to that of July when we saw the unrest. It has created an environment where some criminal elements are going to creep in and attack your shops, attack your malls, attack your communities, and them who live in better protected communities will not be subjected to this. Them who have kids that go to better schools such as St. David's, like Julius Malema, will not be subjected to this. Some of the private schools are on midterm break, which is perfect for a father to try cause anarchy on the day that their kids would be best protected and will not be subjected to moving around the streets, which is okay. Midterm break, for those who don't know, is a special school holiday break that is often seen in private schools and so forth. In government schools, dikolo di akwala, dikolo di abula. I mean, schools closed, school open, June holidays, it's always the same. Life goes forward. Private schools, they've got things called midterm breaks because the calendar is not the same as government schools. So, Julius, we are all not stupid. We can see the plan, but it's okay. Moving on. Again, from a very reliable source, we know that Julius Malema has a very tiny set of balls from an extremely reliable source that sees them nearly every day of her life. So we know that Julius will not be at the march. Julius's hands will not burn anything, will not set fire, will not close the streets, will not take bins and put rubbish on the streets. Julius is relying on his intoxicated followers to do that for him. So Julius will not be there. But one thing I know for sure is that I will be there to arrest Julius. I will be there to arrest Julius if that march gets 1 degree out of the legal line. I will personally be there. I will personally be there to make sure that Julius goes behind bars. Mark my words, I will be there. And Julius can go on and say that if that boy comes and he tries to stop me, he'll meet his maker. Julius, I don't go around with blue lights and bodyguards. And let me tell you, if Julius will be at that march for whatever reason, at any given point on the street, he will be surrounded by bodyguards. But again, I will personally, because me, I'm a man of my word, and I'm always frontlining, not leading from the back. I'm leading from the front. That's why I would be on the streets to ensure that I grab the bull by its horns, just to save this country of ours, because we are not going to be held at ransom by politicians that are actually terrorists instead of politicians. Now, the long and short of it is that a message to Manto, Julius's wife: do not worry, we will continue to take care of you with Julius behind bars or with Julius running around the streets and causing chaos. But if he breaks the law, he will be behind bars, but you have nothing to worry about and you know it. Thank you to the taxi industry, the trucking industry and the people of South Africa for rejecting the EFF proposal to shut down the country. There's nothing revolutionary about the EFF, absolutely nothing. They're just a rented crowd that sings very well. A big rented crowd, and they're definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I commend one of the colored communities who were able to reject on video a group of EFF people who were dumped by a taxi to go close down streets and burn tires and close down clinics and do all that nonsense. The community came out, rejected them, pushed them out, and said, by the way, who are you? And yes, that's another tactic they're going to use. They are going to mix crowds. They are going to take people who are not from Soweto and dump them in Soweto to cause chaos. Because when you don't come from that community, you don't have any soft place for that community. So destroying things is an easy thing. So you're going to see people you don't know causing chaos, looting shops, getting into shops and making sure that trucks don't move and so forth, regardless of the fact that the trucking industry rejected them, the taxi industry rejected them. So we are going to see that. And with that said, my humble request to the people of South Africa is that no one must make themselves staring. Don't be phantom. When you see a bunch of people dressed in red holding golf sticks and hockey sticks and pangas, Don't confront them. Those people are not like you. You've got a better future. Move away, move aside. The only time you confront them is when you are defending yourself, your community, your schools, your clinics, your hospitals, etc., your malls. But when they're just moving, allow them to move. Moving and singing has nothing to do with breaking the law. Once they start breaking infrastructure that belongs to you as the people of South Africa, then you've got a right, because the police can't function isolated. We must work together to ensure that this country is protected, and therefore this country can move forward. Because the kids that we all bear, we are all going to be parents at some point. Whether you are 16 years, you are 18 years, you are 21 years. If you don't have a child at some point, you are going to have a child. And what that means is that you are going to have to make your child inherit a wealth that you took responsibility for. And you can't make your child inherit a community without schools with broken windows, clinics that are dilapidated, clinics that are broken down, etc. And my last point, personal point, is that Julius and his crew are the biggest hypocrites. They are members of parliament. These people are in government. They are in government. They can say that their political party is not in government, not a problem, but they are in government. They are in parliament. They are part of coalition agreements. So who are they complaining against? Who are they causing this anarchy against? They're just a bunch of opportunists. We know how politicians operate. All they want is to cause chaos and damage to infrastructure and so forth, so that they can give themselves tenders a week later to fix what they damaged the week before. They think we're stupid. They're just trying to raise funds through public funds for their next year 2024 elections. And in any case, 2024 elections is not an election year for politicians. You will see why in the near future. But with that said, I'd like to say, get on your WhatsApp groups as communities, organize yourselves as we've always done. Protect your infrastructure, protect the women and children, protect the vulnerable. If you can, make sure that the Gogo next door has bought their food for the next day, so that they're not subjecting to go to the streets. Not that they were scared, but for those Gogos and vulnerable people in our disabled communities, let's make sure that there's no need for a burst or quick opportunity to run and they fall and we've got problems. And let's just make sure Gogo has their medication and whatever else the day before, so that on the day, if there's something wrong with Gogo, the hooligans are blocking the roads, we are not going to be subjected to Gogo dying because there's a bunch of people who are intoxicated wearing red on the streets. So with that said, the enemy here is not an EFF member. The enemy here is Julius Malema and his so-called crew or leadership that thinks that causing chaos in the country is a solution of leadership. Never. So Julius Malema, I will personally arrest you, and that's not a claim. That is a promise. I will personally arrest you, and you know very well that I'm a man of my word, I'm a man of action, and we'll meet on the streets. With that said, Nhlanhla Commander morning. Formation must be taken. And even in that march, the people close to you are my people. Don't forget that. Commander's morning.